What's going on YouTube? Stealing Likes here, and you guys have caught me once again handing the cookie jar out here trying to snatch me some likes.
And we are finally back. Sorry I was gone, you guys. I have been sick. It turns out, anybody who's seen me on Omegle, anytime you see me on Omegle, I usually have a big gallon of tea. I try to keep the label out of the image just because I don't want to promote anything. But evidently drinking a ton of tea has somehow stripped my system of nutrients, maybe get sick. So I ended up with a really weird illness that was causing a lot of problems. Fortunately enough, I'm starting to get back on my feet now, and I'm going to try my best to keep this from throwing off the calendar for the week. So we will be doing a Throwback Friday instead of Throwback Thursday this week. Now, as you guys can see in front of you, I've got my Cloyster, Pikachu, Ninetales, Starmie, Venusaur, and Gengar. I'm going to hit the challenge button and get back into this. I'm not sure if I took the 2 loss last time or the time before, but I did end up hopping back on Battle Spot after that and evening my record back out to 8-8 since the reset. Now, we're going to see exactly what I can get going here. As one thing that did come, there was a good thing and a bad thing that came out of me being sick. The good thing being, I spent a lot of time on Showdown testing builds of Pokemon that I've wanted to do. Let's see here, my opponent has Dragonite, Drapion, Alakazam, Volcarona, Conkeldurr, and Mawile. I'll get back to the good that came out of that here in just a second. Now, Mawile would hate Ninetales. Volcarona would hate Starmie or Cloyster. Probably Cloyster more. Dragonite would hate Cloyster. Alakazam. Gengar, maybe. Depends on the speed build on it. Let's see here. I don't know if Alakazam's going to show up. I think Volcarona will, just because I do see some regions for me getting slaughtered there. Conkeldurr would hate to see Gengar. It might not show. However, Drapion would love Gengar. Ugh. See here, Dragonite and Conkeldurr can pack priority. So if I can take care of the Dragonite or the Conkeldurr, possibly both, I'm going to lead with Gengar, bring in Cloyster, and then Pikachu, as Pikachu might be able to clean up after everybody. We'll hit that confirm. Now, I did get to test a lot of different builds. I actually tested about half the Pokemon you just saw on that screen. I did a lot of testing with Alakazam, actually, which was a little bit odd, because if you don't sink any defensive EVs into it, Alakazam is just terrible. I mean, it gets one-shotted by so many things, especially Earthquake. Everybody loves Earthquake Alakazam, so they lead with Alakazam. Obviously not ideal for me, because this Gengar just really doesn't like Alakazam. Now, they could pack the really weird, interesting idea that I had for Alakazam on this one. I don't know, but I'm going to go for a Shadow Ball. I'm actually not going to switch out. It's a Mega Alakazam. That's terrible. So it's going to Levitate at the end of this turn. If mine was Mega, it would be Shadow tagged in. Not that it would matter too terribly much. So this is going to be a tough matchup for me. Oh, why would he go for a Shadow Ball? Huh. Psychic is actually better there. For those of you who don't know, Psychic actually works out better on Gengar. Now, this Alakazam, very frail. And because it's very frail, I'm actually going to bring in Cloyster and see what I can do. I don't know I don't think I'm going to outspeed this Alakazam, now that I look at it. So that's actually a bad call. But Pikachu can't outspeed Alakazam either. I think Pikachu would probably have more problems with it. So I'm going to go for the Icicle Spear. And yeah, he's faster. So that's a dead Cloyster. We might get our legs swept out from under us on game 1 in this one. This Alakazam is looking a lot like the one I built, only mine wasn't a Mega, so it got the obvious real fun out of being not Mega Alakazam. Now, part of me wonders if he can one-shot me, but I have to go for the agility. I mean, I don't really have much of a choice. The Psychic should kill. Yeah, and it does. I just got swept by Alakazam. Terrible, terrible time. So I'll come back with the bad news out of this week in the next portion of this video. You guys sit tight for about 5 seconds. I'll be right back. Already hit the challenge button. So the bad news out of this week is that while messing around on Showdown, I was breeding, not paying attention to my DS. It actually froze, and I hadn't been saving. Oh man, what is this? Has Showdown swept over onto X and Y? Because I've seen a lot of these pokes off of Showdown. I mean, Scizor, who's finally making a comeback, even though it says it's been here for years. Anyway, I'll get back to the bad news here in just a second. I'm thinking Ninetales, even though that very well could be a Mega Venusaur. Ninetales would be good. Yeah, just because of that Scizor, that Mamoswine, both of which would... I mean, Mamoswine, if it's Scarfed, is going to outspeed and murder my Ninetales, but... Let's see. Mamoswine, Scizor, maybe Venusaur. So... Oh, and Rotom. Yeah, I'm bringing Ninetales. I actually might lead Ninetales just because I don't see me bringing water in this one at all. Like, not even Cloyster. So, next up on the block is probably going to be Venusaur. Yeah, I'll make it Venusaur. Even though I did not pack... I don't think I packed the Heat Rock on Ninetales, so it won't be maintaining the sunlight out here. Then follow that all up with a save your Pikachu, hit that confirm, and see what my opponent brings. I don't know if they bring Scizor, and I really don't want them to, because if they don't bring Scizor and I can set up an agility, that Pikachu might be in a position to sweep again. And if not, oh wow, I'm not the one taking a long time on this pick. If not, I should at least be able to get some really good use out of Pikachu. Namely, if it seems like Rotom's going to Volt Switch, Pikachu can kind of scare it into place, which should be unsettling for my opponent. We're going to find out. Now, what do they lead off with? They lead off with Rotom, so they might have predicted that I was going to stick around and do some fun things. Now, they almost can't assume that I'm going to stick around here with Ninetales. I don't know if they'd think that. I don't know. I'm going to switch out into Venusaur instead of going into Pikachu. I don't want to show my whole hand that early on because, especially if they Hydro Pump. If they Hydro Pump, then Pikachu's going to be in a bad spot because it can't set up the agility then. No, they just hard withdraw. And they go into Gengar. Now, Gengar is not going to enjoy this. Namely because I'm set up in the sun now. So, what I'm going to do, since it levitates, I'll set the grassy terrain in place. And, it didn't Mega Evolve, so I'm feeling a lot better already. Now, it goes for the Will-O-Wisp. Which, that is a good call. What to do. So, Gengar, he's not going to care about a Sludge Bomb. I feel like a Petal Dance is my best call right here, since I'm clearly sticking around. And I boosted the power of that Petal Dance by quite a bit. It's not going to kill off the first hit, but Venusaur lives this one and gets a nice increase to health. Which means that Gengar... Gengar shouldn't be killing it anyway because of the chlorophyll. Now I'm stuck with the leaves, so Gengar decides to stick around or not. He doesn't. He switches out. But who does he switch out into? He switches out into Rotom to take the Petal Dance. So Rotom should drop with relative ease. I mean, it doesn't really make things any more settling. It's just, I don't know. I don't think they have Scizor. I really don't, because that'd be a perfect spot to switch in for Scizor. Oh, and I'm still going on with this Petal Dance. So, we're going to see who this third Pokemon is more likely than not. They're trying to save this Gengar. It's Mamoswine. Mamoswine doesn't want to see a Petal Dance from this point at all. So, Mamoswine goes for an Ice Shard. That's going to hurt. Actually, that's going to kill. So, now, I feel like I have to go back into Ninetales. And I mean, if it's a Choice Swine, then I should be golden. I mean, I'm not totally certain here. So, I mean, I've got Sunlight up still. I will go ahead and go for the Solar Beam. Ah, that was stupid, but I'll go for it anyway. Why not? It's higher power. So, let's see exactly what kind of damage gets down in this one. That's almost a dead Swine. He gets the Earthquake off. That's going to be a dead Ninetales. And, oh, it's not dead. So we're both going to heal up a little bit. And now, the Grassy Terrain's gone. Maybe I do have a Heat Rock on this Ninetales, because it did outlast all of the madness. So now I'm going to go for a Flamethrower. I'm not going to throw any more risk into this. I probably could have gone for the Flamethrower at first and just killed this Swine, but I didn't. He goes for the Ice Shard, which is resisted. Yeah, I do live that. Gets another Flamethrower off, and that should be a dead Swine. Now, the only question is, can I set up Pikachu to win? Oh, with a Flail I can't. So it literally comes down to the Volt Tackle, which is the mystery fourth move that I've been packing. Yeah, mystery fourth move I've been packing on Pikachu. I'm going to go for the Flamethrower. I assume that I can't outspeed this thing to save my life. I don't. So, Ninetales is going down right here. It all comes down to Pikachu and Gengar. Now, this is where things get fun. I don't think Gengar can pack an Earth Power. I highly doubt anyone would pack an Earthquake on Gengar, even if I don't know if you can. So I'm not expecting super effective damage. What I am, however, expecting is enough damage that the Volt Tackle kills me, at which point I don't know who wins. Oh, well, he doesn't have enough hit points to where he's going to have to do some pretty chunky damage here. And I'm not sure how well Pikachu's going to take anything at this point. That is a dead Pikachu off a crit. So, we go 0-2 for the first time in Throwback Thursdays. I will have to bring in some of the new Generation 1 Pokemon. I've got to breed them. I've got to bring in some of the new Generation 1 Pokemon I've been working out just to try and get this generation to move forward. Now, in other news, Drapion was voted MVP for this last week. I'm sorry I haven't been around to really tell you guys that, but this illness has had the best of me. But without further ado, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a good night. I will be back and hopefully 100% tomorrow night for our Survival Saturday. Now, even though my breeding did get thrown off a lot, we will still be going forward with that. Hopefully I will have at least some of those Pokemon completely done by then, and I will see you guys tomorrow night for that.